friends, I'm Jack, and in today's issue you will meet Sam Altman, who is returning to the post of the CEO of OpenAI. OpenAI, which made a breakthrough in the creation of a strong AI not long before the dismissal of the same Sam Altman. Fourier, which showed the dance of humanoid robots. Robot Excavator, HEAP, which itself. I designed and built a solid wall of handmade stones, without cement. Tesla, which opened all the documentation on the Tesla Roadster electric car, and now everyone can build one for themselves. And SpaceX, which immediately bought the recording of an amateur astronomer who shot the last moments of Starship flight. All this and much more right now. Let's start today's issue with OpenAI. It looks like an adventure with a change of power in the company has come to an end. Under the pressure of investors and the threat of dismissal, almost everything is closed. All employees of the board of directors have no choice but to go to hell and invite Sam Altman to return to the chair of the general director. The OpenAI company announced the achievement of an agreement with Sam about returning to the position of general director after the sudden dismissal. In addition, the board of directors has agreed to partially replace its staff. The dismissal of Altman and the departure of the chairman of the board of directors, Greg Brockman, caused a wave of dismissals in OpenAI and panic among investors, who immediately began to look for ways to reduce the risk of loss. Microsoft promised to hire Altman and his entire team, but fortunately for everyone, it did not come to that. Satya Nadella, head of Microsoft, welcomed the changes in the board of directors of OpenAI. We believe this is the first important step to a more stable, informed, and effective management. It was stated in the statement. By the way, it became known that shortly before Sam Altman was fired from the post of CEO of OpenAI, several scientific employees of the company sent a letter to the board of directors in which they warned about a significant breakthrough in the development of artificial intelligence. This discovery, in their opinion, could threaten humanity. The letter became one of the factors in the long list of claims of the board of directors as the head of the company to Sam Altman. The document was about the Q project with an asterisk, and the representatives of OpenAI do not give an official name. With the presence of powerful computational resources, the new model has learned to solve mathematical problems. So far, at the level of a primary school student, but this achievement instills in researchers optimism about future successes. In their letter to the board of directors, OpenAI researchers noted the power of AI and the potential threat to humanity, although they did not specify which aspects of security they may touch. Specialists in the field of information technology have long been in discussions about high-intelligence machines, which, for example, may come to the conclusion that their interests are responsible for the destruction of humanity. The authors of the letter noted the work of the division formed by the unification of the CodeGen and MathGen teams. The scientists of this division studied ways to optimize existing AI models, to improve the quality of system reasoning and direct their potential to scientific work.
Singapore company Fourier Intelligence has published a video demonstrating a smaller version of the DR1 humanoid robots, which should be delivered to customers this year. These robots are equipped with powerful hip joint drives with a torque of 300 nanometers. JDR1 raises an incredible weight of 50 kilograms. The robot, 64 centimeters tall, weighs 55 kilograms. JR1 is designed to work as an assistant in care and therapy for elderly people. It is unlikely to lift 50-kilogram boxes from the floor, but it is likely to be able to help the patient get up. In the new video, Fourier demonstrates that at 12 full-fledged humanoids ready for shipment, Fourier plans to unload 100 units by the end of the year. However, these will not be fully functional and intellectual robots. These will be hardware and software platforms with basic capabilities. Fourier will send them mainly to research laboratories, where specialists will try to make JR1 suitable for practical use. In the new video, Fourier demonstrates that it has built at least 12 full-fledged humanoids ready for shipment. Their capabilities apparently are very limited. In the video, the camera moves more dynamically than the robots themselves. The humanoids only move their fingers weakly, wave their arms, perform some minor air blows, do small squats, turn their waist, and walk a little awkwardly. We don't know what you think, but in our opinion, In a dance battle with Atlas from Boston Dynamics, they will most likely blow. Recall that the Chinese technological startup presented GR1 this year. In the network, the robot was nicknamed an analog of Optimus by Tesla. Let's go further. The engineers of Zurich's Swiss Higher Technical School have created a robotic excavator heap, which they designed and built a 6-metre-long wall of arbitrary-shaped boulders with their own hands. The robot was created on the basis of a 12-ton excavator Menzi Make M545. Its modified by scientists version was named HEAP. HEAP. When the car was modified, it was equipped with a satellite navigation system, an inertial measurement block, a control module from the excavators in the cabin, and an excavator shot. The construction work of HEAP began with scanning the construction site, creating a 3-dimensional map and recording the location of the boulders. Weighing several tons each, they were brought to the site on purpose. The robot lifted each boulder using the machine vision algorithm, assessed its mass and center of gravity, and also recorded its 3-dimensional shape. The algorithm on the HIP control module calculated the optimal location for each boulder. A solid wall of 6 meters high and 65 meters long was built of them. It was built using the method of dry masonry. These are just stones laid on top of each other without any solution between them. During the working shift, the machine placed from 20 to 30 boulders, and about the same amount was delivered for 1 truckload of building materials. The most important advantage of the project is that in reality, the carriage would not be required. With such systems, you can build objects using only the stones lying nearby, saving on cargo flights and avoiding the accompanying carbon emissions. Meanwhile, the Corsair Longboards company presented on the crowdfunding platform Indiegogo an electric longboard F4U, capable of folding in half with one simple movement. And this is not to say that its speed reaches almost 100 kilometers per hour. The F4U deck consists of 2 parts of laminated Canadian maple, and for greater strength, it uses 6061 T6 aluminum hinges. The locking mechanism is made of chromo-molybdenum steel. When the owner wants to fold the board after a trip, he just needs to step on the tail so that the nose of the board rises, and then grab the handle on the nose and pull it back hard. This will make the back of the board turn over and fold, blocking the front. The transformation takes a couple of seconds and can be done with one hand. Tesla has opened all the documentation on the Tesla Roadster electric car, and now everyone can build one for themselves. Before the American Tesla company began to achieve commercial success in the last decade and made its CEO Elon Musk the richest man on the planet, it has been training for many years to produce electric cars on the Roadster model recently. All the documentation on it was proposed for free use by all interested parties. Of course, it is appropriate to recall the earlier initiative of 2014 to provide free access to Tesla patents. But in fact, at that time, the company simply had to not pursue in court those who used its developments. In exchange, hoping to get access to the development of the counteragent, it turned out to be a kind of technological barter, which cannot be fully considered a provision of free access to the original documentation. In the case of the latest Tesla Roadster initiative of the first generation, there are no such provisions. Those who wish can get access not only to the technical documentation of Tesla related to the Roadster model, which tried to revive the lost battery by detecting some defective cells. Tesla didn't consider such problems to be a guarantee case and offered to change the entire battery in the assembly. Why the Tesla Roadster documentation became available for free use right now remains a mystery. The second attempt to launch Starship was more successful than the first, but it ended with the explosion of the ship and the first stage. SpaceX itself stated that the ship was lost and its fate is unknown, while the explosion of the Super Heavy accelerator was captured in all the details. It turned out that the shots of the last minutes of the ship were shot by an astronomer amateur hundreds of kilometers from the launch site. And this became the only video in the world, evidence of Starship's exit into space. During the second attempt to launch the 122-meter SpaceX rocket with the Starship, which was launched on November 18th, all the lenses were aimed at it from the start area near the Texas village of Boca Chica. Astronomer Scott Ferguson, on the other hand, decided to shoot a rocket from the other end of the Mexican Gulf, from the town of Isla Mirada in Florida. And he was the only one who was able to do it before the last minutes of the ship's flight. During the second attempt, the telescope was able to catch the rocket only after the system of its destruction was triggered. The cloud became the guide after the explosion, but then it was possible to shoot a video of the uncontrolled flight of Starship remains, the nose part with wings, with fuel jets, and the torn part. The shooting was carried out to a height of about 150 kilometers, which is above the conditional boundaries of space. Formally, Starship took off into space, although in a rather cut-off form, SpaceX acquired a video made by amateurs. There will be no additional evidence for the assessment of the disaster. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching. We left the links in the description. Peace to your home.